My name's Calista Dillon. I was born and raised in Yellow Springs. I then moved to Dayton around 2017. Art is not only a means of livelihood for me at this point in my life in certain aspects, but art is really a lot of who I am and what I have.
My name is Lucas Dunlap. I'm from Cincinnati, but I moved here a couple years back. I think that art is a really good communication tool. I think that a lot of artists would probably agree with that. It gets a lot of energy out that otherwise you couldn't get out, and so I think that's probably primarily what I use it for.
My name is Alexander Rothery. I'm from around this area, just in Centerville, so Ohio. The meaning of art to me is kind of a tough thing to define, because it's definitely this form of communication where you are able to express yourself, and people, no matter what language they speak, can look at it and find their own, meaning in it.
My love of art probably stemmed from movies and television and animation and comics. Anything that incorporates art. I've always loved that kind of thing. That's what I want to pursue. I would love to be a concept artist.
My mom definitely is an artist. She's actually a radiologist, which is why I often draw so many skeletons, because I grew up with so many skeletons in my house. My grandfather is a professional bluegrass musician, and he always encouraged me to kind of do what I want. I've always loved to draw, and I've always been an avid drawer even as a kid. And
my grandma, growing up a lot, would make crafts, just silly little cricket cutout things and cards. And I would just sit in the same room with her and draw and use all of her expensive stuff and just completely waste it on bad drawings of cartoon characters and stuff.
So that piece is very meaningful for me for a lot of reasons, not only for accomplishing a Best in Show, but also as an older adult choosing to go back to school and follow her dreams. I constantly feel like I'm running out of time with a lot of aspects in my life, not only just educational wise, but I constantly feel like I'm running against the clock. I also, while doing that piece, my mom was in an accident and became paralyzed. So I felt like I was running out of time with my family, and we had to do a still life, and fruit still lifes are so common, but I just don't think that it was really representing my life at that point. So that's why I made this. And for it to turn around and be one of the biggest accomplishments in my life was incredible.
So that piece, it's funny. On the very first day of my Drawing 1 class here at Sinclair, my professor, Bridget, set up a horse, like a carousel horse in the middle of the room, and that was the very first thing that we drew. And then on the very last day of that semester that I had with her, we drew the exact same horse again. So the piece that I submitted was the one that I did on the last day. And I felt like it really showed my growth as an artist, even just in such a short amount of time. I think it's fun anyway, just because, at least compared to my first piece was very simple. I just focused on the horse, but then the second one is more of a classroom scene in its entirety, and I got to incorporate my classmates that I had gotten to know and the space that I had grown to love to be creative in.
The piece I entered, to me, kind of just is about taking control of my own life. It's very based off of a previous painting that I had done about feeling like I didn't have control of my life, and kind of this symbolism of having someone else's hands pulling my mouth apart. So when we got the assignment in Life Drawing and Anatomy, I was like, ooh, I'm so excited, because I felt so much more in control of my life through this assignment, and then in turn have other people look at it and hopefully find their own meaning of this specific image that I've created and what it, how it connects to their life and how they can interpret it, because I don't want people to look at my art and then go, oh yeah, that one specific meaning. I feel like there's a lot of Picasso pieces where it's oh yeah, and that's, girls in a brothel and trying to like show how dirty and bad the culture is behind it. And it's like, I don't necessarily want that from my art. I very much want people to either look at it and aesthetically go, oh yeah, nice. Or, look at it and think deeper and form this appreciation and understanding for something that's within them that can connect with you.
What to consider as art is a broad question to answer, because if you think about everything, literally everything from like this window to like the shape of that light shade, like some designer produced that and was like, this is beautiful. Like this is a great window.
I consider absolutely anything art. I think if someone else considers something art, then it is. The minute you start trying to define what art is, we're not going to make any progress.
My personal definition of art is definitely something that you can connect with, which is that deeper conceptual nature to it, where you can start to have a lot of like abstract painters who make things, and even though it's just like kind of a mess on a canvas, you can look at it and you can go, oh, my deeper understanding and my connection and the contemplation that I can now feel because this has brought that forth, I think is a really important aspect of art to me.
So everything is art, I guess, which is like a really cheesy answer, like everything is art, but I think that it is. Everything has artistic integrity, and I think that if with the right eyes, it can be seen as something beautiful.
Because if someone else takes enjoyment from that, or inspiration, or literally anything, that's all that really matters.
The future art is scary. I mean, the future is scary right now.
The future of art is really difficult to talk about without at least delving into AI a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? As a human artist, I'm never gonna draw 12 fingers on one hand and like let it go unnoticed, but you see that all the time in AI.
I do see AI being utilized as a tool in the future. I think it's gonna be kind of unavoidable.
I don't think that AI is going to take over it all. I do think there's a lot of like legislation and moderation that still needs to be made in order to kind of wrangle it down so that artists can still make art.
You know, like it's like comparing like a calculator and like a mathematician's brain. You know what I'm saying? Like the calculator is always going to be faster, have more answers, have more solutions like per, minute. But like the mathematician is going to, I don't know, be more personable, be able to teach you things like.
But I think that there is a human quality that people are always going to look for in art, and there are just some things that aren't replicable.
So I think it's definitely gonna be very reactionary, but art has always been this very reactionary thing, so it's nothing new.
To all future artists out there, you can do it regardless of your location or age, and it's never too late. And it will help you like find yourself all throughout your life again. Whenever I do a really good piece, I kind of like get the same feeling I got when I was like a freshman in high school, and it makes me remember who I was. And that's very healing.
Don't get discouraged if you're not seeing results as fast as you would like. It took me so long to learn incredibly basic things about art because I was self-taught, and I think the majority of artists start out self-taught. So if you don't have the means to get a professional education, you have to grant yourself a little bit of grace, when you make mistakes or when things don't look the way that you want them to.
If you want to be an artist, you are. That's kind of how art works. It's not like you have to go and get schooling and, be academically acclaimed and then go into the art world and make a breakthrough. It's just whatever you make it. So I think if you want to be an artist, just go for it and call yourself one and you will be one.